All right, people, I'm just sitting here enjoying my cup of coffee, or as it's known in some parts of the country, my cup of coffee. Scent of the day, Chanel Platinum Egoist, beautiful citrus floral. Almost went with Jimmy Choo Man Aqua. No decants necessary. The dent doesn't lie. Neither does the backup bottle. But I'm not here to bring you information about the amazing house of Chanel. I'm here to bring you 5 fragrance houses that you should absolutely avoid like the plague. And it's not that they make absolutely nothing that smells nice. It just means that they make so little and so much stuff that is absolutely horrible that you shouldn't even waste your time nor your money looking into sampling, buying bottles from these houses. Trust me, time is the most valuable commodity, which is what you'll save the most by not even giving these houses a second look. Hold on, niche snobs. Your feathers are about to get ruffled. Just hold on. Count slowly backwards from 10 and hold on to your emotions, because one house you should avoid is the house of Amouage. Yes, they make Reflection Man and Reflection 45 and Boundless, and all the other stuff just smells weird. It's beast mode and it smells weird. At the very least, hold off on the house of Amouage until your nose and your palate become so sophisticated, and until the drug of fragrance just isn't enough and you got to take it up a notch. Then you might want to consider this, but off the bat, no. Just no. They make too much weird, super challenging stuff that the niche snobs love. It's great artistically, but on a smell good factor, trust me, avoid that house. Another house you want to avoid, and I'm going to give you a twofer. It's the house of Lattafa and Mason Alhambra, the sister company Mason Alhambra. It's a twofer because they're really the same company, but I could not recommend you a single Lattafa out of everything I've smelled. And it's not just because it's a cheap Middle Eastern clone company. I personally like clone companies, but these are horrible. These smell cheap, and the reason they're inexpensive, look at the presentation. Amazing presentations. All the money goes into the presentation, all the $35 you spend. None of it goes into the quality of the juice, and it just smells like absolute trash. And the reason it's getting pushed is because fragrance influencers know that at $25, $30, everybody can afford this. More clicks, more views, more sales through their affiliate links. You can pretend that this smells exactly like Tom Ford's Oud Wood, but it smells like a synthetic mess. This is probably the 3rd house on my little list that you should avoid. And it's not like they don't have a few good fragrances. I actually enjoy this Big Beard business fragrance, and I have a couple other Navitus in the collection, but the other 99% of their fragrances are cheap, overpriced. You're not going to find a more catering to shills, sending out free bottles company than the company of Navitus. And rather than go through 100 bottles just to find the few that I've found, you're better off just avoiding the house, as a whole. This is where nostalgia is going to get a little kick in the nuts. Avoid anything with the word curve on it. Yes, you wore it in junior high. I bet you thought you smelled amazing. You smelled like a goofy, pimple-faced teenager who couldn't afford a real fragrance. Avoid anything with the word curve on it. Regular curve, curve crush. I don't even know how many flankers they got at this point. You will smell like you are wearing something from a gas station. Don't let any cheapy list or hidden gem video fool you. I don't even know what a bottle of these cost. I know they sell them at Walgreens, probably because it should be bathroom cleaner or even some kind of antiseptic. I'd rather recommend this to you as that than an actual fragrance. Maybe an air freshener, but don't put this stuff on your body, and damn sure don't waste any time doing any research or any money buying this crap. And last but not least, other than Amouage, these other bottles don't really cost a lot of money. But this fragrance house, you should 100% avoid. And I know they have a couple of bangers in here, literally just a couple. But to spend as much money, even on decants, even the decants are expensive, to spend as much money and as much time to dig through the absolute cesspool, swim through the cesspool of fake it till you make it influencers who are pushing this nonsense, this garbage. Just avoid the house completely, and that is the house of Xerjoff. I've smelled a bunch of Xerjoffs, and literally, I can only recommend you about 3 fragrances. Naxos, Torino 21, and Neo. Maybe Kobe. Even then, even though I like those fragrances, they're extremely overpriced. Again, most of the money you're spending goes into the presentation and into the pockets of shill influencers. And trust me, they're making a pretty penny because, how much money would it take for you to entirely ruin your credibility and join the circle of friendship that I keep speaking of, or as I call it, the circle of Xerjoff, because really, they're the leaders, they're the trendsetters for companies like, Navitus to follow on how to really sell and push a product for a large amount of money that really isn't very good. Every Xerjoff I own, other than the ones I named that I recommended, smell like cheap plastic, super synthetic. And I know they do use some naturals in this, but it's just, I can't imagine at one point that I actually thought they were any good. And if you'll look at other people that do reviews, not to line their own pockets, but for the hobbyist aspect, you'll find they all share one thing in common. When they began their kind of niche journey, they started off with Xerjoff, and at the end, they ended up selling them all on eBay or Mercari. I'm going to give you a shortcut on this journey. Absolutely, positively avoid Xerjoff or anybody that pushes this toilet water on you. All right, now that you saved a few bucks by not purchasing sewer water, now you got a few bucks to spend on some good stuff like something from Chanel or Guerlain. Hell, even Jimmy Choo beats out all of this skunk-smelling fragrances.